Hello guys, this is Adam Martin here, formerly known as the Loudmouth37. What I thought I would do today, if you remember, those of you who have been with this channel for a while, last year I made a part 1 video that was focusing on my Michael Jackson album vinyl collection. And then I went on holiday to Lanzarote and just never finished it for some reason, so I thought, you know, now that I seem to be in a steady stream of videos, I mean 4 videos in a week, that's like insane for this channel. So yeah, let's just get underway with this, and this is going to be a massive episode, I think, so I'm going to cover everything. I'm not going to do part segments again because I don't want to fall into that trap, so let's just get right to it. Oh, and there have been some new pieces along the way. I remember most things, I think, so anything that was new from the last video I'll try and explain. So let's kick things off with Michael Jackson's first solo album with Motown, which was Got to Be There, released in 1972, featuring hits such as Michael's cover of Ain't No Sunshine. I preferred the Bill Withers original, but this is pretty good too. I Want to Be Where You Are, which was a fair hit at the time. Got to Be There, of course, was number 4 in the US. And on the B-side, Rockin' Robin, of course, which is now no more as Michael's song than the original version. Yeah, just a nice little album. That's what I think mostly of the MJ solo Motown albums. They're just nice. They're nice to listen to. Nothing like groundbreaking, I think, but you know. And then Ben came as well, and this is obviously the standard cover, the infamous retracted cover that had all the rats behind him, because Ben was a film about a boy and his rat. And Michael Michael sang the title track, which hit number 1 in the US. There it is, Ben. It's a beautiful song. I highly recommend you listen to it. I also enjoy People Make the World Go Round. I think that's a great song. His cover of My Girl is also tremendous. In Our Small Way, Shibby-dooby-doo-da-day. Yep, nice little album. Now this one's a new one, Music and Me, which was his third Motown solo album, came out in 1973, and this one has eluded me for years. I'm not sure why. I just thought about it one day, went up on eBay, and there it was for about £6, so not too bad. So, this one is new to my collection. With a Child's Heart's a lovely song, Morning Glow, which is from the musical Pippin, as it says, which is a cracking musical. Music and Me is the best song on the album, in my opinion, and it's one of my favourite solo Michael songs from any part of his career, not just his teenage career. And now my favourite of the 4 MJ solo Motown albums, and that is Forever Michael. Released in 1975, it says it includes the hits We're Almost There, and just a little bit of You. So there's the A-side. I love this first A-side, I think all 5 of these songs should have been massive hits. Side B, not so much, but hey, again, a nice little album. Didn't do so well in the charts at this point, but now we move on, if I can grab it, to his 5th studio album, which is Off the Wall, and everyone knows Off the Wall. Released in 1979, selling 20 million copies worldwide. This is one of the most iconic albums of all time, and since this is a gatefold, and I've got it in a sleeve for protection, here is the track listing. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough was number 1, Rock With You was number 1, Working Day and Night should have been a single, Get On The Floor is amazing, Off the Wall was a top 10 single, Girlfriend was co-written by Paul McCartney, She's Out of My Life was a top 10 hit, and just every song has something different to it, and this is an album I know I can listen to time and time and again, and a lot of fans consider this the first in like the holy trinity of Michael albums. Moving on. Now this is the big one, Michael Jackson Thriller. This is still the best-selling album of all time, with I think over 110 million copies sold across various formats. Released in 1982, the songs on this are incredible. Wanna Be Starting Something, Baby Be Mine, The Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney, Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean, Human Nature, PYT and The Lady in My Life, again like Off the Wall. Every track on this 9-track album has something unique about it, and 7 of these were singles. In the US, I know at least, Wanna Be Starting Something was number 5, The Girl Is Mine number 1, Beat It number 1, Billie Jean number 1, Thriller number 4, Human Nature number 7, PYT number 10. For an album to achieve that is just, you know, we've never really seen anything like it since. And here is the next one, The 7th studio album, this is Bad. And this, I prefer this to Thriller, not gonna lie. Released in 1987, as it says here. The Thrill is back, 10 brand new hits, and 9 of these, because on the CD, the bonus track is Leave Me Alone. Including that, 9 of these 11 songs became singles. So Bad in the US, number 1. The Way You Make Me Feel, number 1. Liberian Girl, I'm not sure if that was US, but it was 13 somewhere, UK or US. Another Part of Me, number 7. Man in the Mirror, number 1. I Just Can't Stop Loving You, number 1. Dirty Diana, number 1. Smooth Criminal, number 4. No, number 7. I can't remember. Some of these might be inaccurate, but this had 5 number 1s in it. Where at the time, again, another record broken. And this album is just tremendous. I'd highly recommend picking this album up in any form. Vinyl, CD, cassette, 8-track if you like, if you want to be like that. And again, if you can get the copy from Bad 25 of the live Bad show from Wembley Stadium, then you will be in for an amazing treat. Moving on to 1991. Potentially my favourite MJ album ever. This is 1991's Dangerous. And Dangerous was the first it was on CD as Bad was, but this had 14 tracks on it, so it's on 2 LPs here. And again, just the song lists on here are instantly classic. So many good songs, so many hits. 9 of the 14 songs became singles, and this is you just need to listen to this album again see some of the Dangerous live shows, because me talking about it doesn't really do it any justice whatsoever. Now, I don't have history. History on vinyl is very hard to come by, and if it does come by, it is often very expensive, because 1995, vinyls weren't big at the time. It was more CD dominated, and history is a triple LP, and I just haven't got it yet, so please don't complain. But I did get this, Blood on the Dance Floor, the 1997 remix album of some history songs, with some originals too. I was amazed to come by this in Liverpool when I was at university, but £25, which for something like this is honestly not bad, I don't think. And this is on 2 LPs, so you've got Blood on the Dance Floor, which was number 1 in the UK. Morphine is one of my favourite MJ songs ever. Superfly Sister, Ghosts, Is It Scary? And then you've got various remixes of songs from history. Some good, some bad, and not the MJ kind of bad, as in just plain bad. Moving on, I've got Escape, which I say Escape, whatever it is. Came out in 2014, the second of the music companies, these are tracks that he would have released, even though he probably wouldn't have done because he was a perfectionist. But I do actually quite like this album. I thought this was a massive improvement from the Michael album we got in 2010. I still like the Michael album, but this is a lot better. Each of the 8 songs, again like classic MJ, has something unique about it, and Love Never Felt So Good, or the version with Justin Timberlake there, did very well in both the UK and the US. So good for this album. I wish Sony would do more, because since this came out in 2014, we haven't really had anything, in quote marks, new. Anyway, moving on to some Jackson 5 stuff. So we've gone back now. And this copy of the album's sadly a bit damaged at the top. But again, this is old, so what are you going to do? This is the Diana Ross presents the Jackson 5. This was the first Jackson 5 album ever released, as you can see there, featuring I Want You Back, Zippity Doodah, and all that sort of stuff. Who's Loving You right there, I think is better than I Want You Back, and is just an amazing song. Definitely my top 10 for sure. Yep, and that's a fab little album. And then the second Jackson 5 album, which is ABC, again another iconic song that everyone's heard of. This copy I believe is a reissue in the 70s, but The Love You Save was number 1, ABC was number 1 of course, and a nice little selection of songs, but obviously this was when they were being aimed at what they call the teeny bopper markets. Followed by the third album, also in 1970, and this is the album that contains I'll Be There, which is one of the most beautiful songs ever written, I think, not just by the Jackson 5 or Michael Jackson, and it's a song I like to perform every now and then when I'm performing. It's just a great song. Their cover of A Bridge Over Troubled Water as well, which was a nice surprise for me on this album. Going back to Indiana, Mama's Pearl, hit number 2. Definitely the best out of the 3 initial albums, I would say, in my opinion. And then we have Looking Through the Windows, which was released in, where's that copyright? In 1972. So I don't have Maybe Tomorrow yet, I'm working on it. Nice little album, little bitty pretty ones on here, and Doctor My Eyes, which was a top 10 UK hit. Yeah, just a nice little album, pick this one up. Followed by Skywriter, which isn't one of my favourites, but I mean, Skywriter itself is a good song. Hallelujah Day, Corner of the Sky, which is another song from Pippin. Yeah, just a nice little, and available in cassette and cartridge, you know, for your 8-track lovers out there. 8-track keeps popping up. Moving on to Dancing Machine. I don't have Get It Together, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is probably actually my favourite Jackson 5 album. I don't know, there's just such a nice I Am Love's on here, and Dancing Machine, of course, Whatever You Got I Want. There's just such a nice mix, I think, of different songs. So if this is one of the harder ones to find, but if you can find it, definitely pick it up. And now we go on to this, which is Joyful Jukebox Music. This came out in 1976, I believe, just as they'd moved to CBS. And there's, again, some really nice songs on here, like The Eternal Light, I really enjoy. We're Here to Entertain You. Again, just a nice album. Again, this is harder to find. I got lucky, but if you can find it, pick it up. Moving on. Now we're on the CBS years, so here is the Jacksons from 1976. Fresh-faced, ready to go, brand new label. Not the most entertaining album. There's some nice ones. Enjoy Yourself, of course. Blues Away. And Show You the Way to Go, which was #1 in the UK. But yeah, there's just not bad, but like it's plain, it's vanilla, you know, it's standard. Nothing too amazing. Then we get on to Going Places, which I got, as you can see there, from a shop in Lincoln called Back to Mono, which is an amazing shop. I don't know if it's still open. I hope it is. I think that's Gatefold 90. That date's wrong. This came out in 1977. Professionally deep cleaned, as you see there. And again, like the Jacksons album, it's got some nice songs like Going Places, Jump for Joy, but it's just kind of vanilla. Like I don't think there's anything majorly stand out about it. But of course that all changes when we get to this next one, which is Destiny. Now Destiny was released in 1978, and this was the turning point for the Jacksons. This is the album that undoubtedly saved them from probably just being a 70s band fondly remembered. Featuring Blame It on the Boogie, and who doesn't know Blame It on the Boogie, let's be real here. But of these 8 songs, you know, Push Me Away I love, Things I Do For You, which became a good live hit, Shake Your Body is known by everybody, Destiny was a hit, That's What You Get for Being Polite, and you've got this nice image, this beautiful image of the peacock, which was written by Michael and Jackie Jackson, just a little homage here, so... Through the ages, the peacock has been honoured and praised for its attractive, illustrious beauty. Of all the bird family, the peacock is the only bird that integrates all colours into one, and displays the radiance of fire only when in love. We, like the peacock, try to integrate all races into one through the love of music. And that's a nice little elegy there to a great album. Followed in 1980 by the equally successful Triumph album. Which has the peacock again, and hits such as Can You Feel It, Lovely One, Heartbreak Hotel, Walk Right Now. Just a nice little, like more of a product of the disco age, just as Destiny was. And to follow Triumph also came the Jacksons Live. And the Jacksons Live is, as it suggests, a live album, which was released in 1981, double LP. So you've got Hit 60 from Triumph there, from Destiny, and a lot of Michael stuff as well. So you've got Off the Wall stuff, She's Out My Life. You've got the classic Jackson 5 medley, ABC, I Want You Back, I'll Be There, such. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, to finish with Shake Your Body. So yeah, it's just, this is a very well produced live album, and I'd recommend you get the vinyl version, because aside from that, from what I've seen, the CD version is harder to come by. And when I first downloaded this years ago off iTunes, the sound quality I think is a bit diminished. If you get the vinyl, you get a fuller sound, so I'd recommend that. And we have the Jacksons' Victory, which was released in 1984, so Thriller was, you know, massive at the point. And look at this, the Jacksons Le Coq Sportif competition, yeah, because I want lots of that. I wonder if that's still valid. And you've got the 6 of them here because Jermaine returned to the fold after many years of sticking with Motown. So, and this is probably my favourite CBS Jackson album. Or might be actually, but yeah. You've got State of Shock with Mick Jagger, which was an amazing song. Torture was a great song. Be Not Always is beautifully written by Michael. This album's so good, and its artwork's beautiful, both on the front and the back. So, if you can find this, and this sold 7 million copies, so this shouldn't be too hard to find. If you can get it, pick it up. You won't waste your time. And now the final Jackson album with CBS, released in 1989, without Michael and without Marlon, I believe. So it's Jermaine, Tito, Jackie, and Randy. Here's 2300 Jackson Street. And I actually really like this album, you know. Here's some lyrics from 2300 Jackson Street, the song itself. It's just a nice little album, like Art of Madness gets the beat going. Maria's really catchy. 2300 Jackson Street and If You'd Only Believe are really nice, soothing songs. Midnight Rendezvous is good. I don't know why people hate on this. I really do enjoy this album. So again, if you can find it, please do get it. You will not waste your money nor your time. Now we also have Michael Jackson, Farewell My Summer Love, which was released in 1984, and this was in the wake, you know, Thriller was like the biggest thing ever, and Michael Jackson was probably the most recognisable person on the planet. So this was an obvious attempt to cash in on that, in a sense, and this album comprises of songs recorded in the early 70s by Michael, but they've been issued here with like more of an 80s flair, like they've been beefed up, which for some songs I think works, but for others it doesn't. And I think you can hear the originals. They'll be on CD now or something, because, you know, Motown has endlessly released MJ's back catalogue. Speaking of, but this was earlier, this was in 1975, this is the Best of Michael Jackson, released by Motown once again. And these are purely MJ solo songs, what will be the first in many a compilation, so if you want it on vinyl, go ahead, but it's not a necessity. There's so much choice. Oh look, speaking of choice, here's the Jacksons' greatest hits. So, yeah, this was earlier though, this was like 1971, 72, so they were just at their peak. But yeah, these are like the early hits, so, you know, I Want You Back, ABC, Never Can Say Goodbye. So, yeah, nice if you want it, but I don't think it's essential to every collection. I just get these because, you know, I find them cheap, such as this, 18 Greatest Hits. I mean, this was released in 1983, so again, by Motown, a cash-in. I mean, I paid about £1 for this, and it's just, you know, there you go again. Look, One Day in Your Life, Gotta Be There, Dr. My Eyes, ABC, it's all the stuff we've had. If you really want it, go ahead. But this, I do enjoy this. This is the Michael Jackson mix, so 40 specially sequenced hits by the world superstar. Again, all Motown songs, I don't believe this was issued by Motown, but this is a double album, As Seen on TV. Well, not by me, but by you, if you were alive in 1987. And these are like, each side is like your Love Mix 1, and each of the songs on here, they all blend together, they've all got like a fade or something, but they actually do work quite well. I particularly enjoy this first one, Love Mix 1. The way the songs blend into each other is perfectly done. Again, I found this for about £1, so if you can find it, I mean, it's a nice little piece. It's better than the endless slew of Motown compilations, so yeah, find that. And just to finish off, because they're here at the back of the box, I do have some Janet Jackson albums. I have a first one, simply titled Janet Jackson, and this one's just really vanilla. I wouldn't bother with this one. And here's her best, Control, released in 1986, like the quintessential 80s album. This is so 80s, but it's great. Control, Nasty, What Have You Done For Me Lately, Pleasure Principle. Just get this album. I might do a video on Janet sometime, like albums and such. And Rhythm Nation 1814, which was released in 1989, containing big hits such as, wherever they are, they're down here. You know, Rhythm Nation, Miss You Much, just again, another great 80s album. The CD version has more stuff, but the vinyl version is pretty good too. So here's some Jermaine Jackson stuff. This is Jermaine Come Into My Life, which I think was his second Motown album. Not much to say, just, it's nice, it's not horrible. Here's Let's Get Serious, which was probably his biggest hit, and this came out in 1980, written by Stevie Wonder. Yeah, this is a better album for sure, but my favourite is probably this one, Jermaine Jackson Dynamite. released midway into the 80s. Michael is on here. Look, where is it there? Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming Too Good to Be True, duet with MJ. But yeah, then there's Escape from the Planet of the Ant-Man. There are some weird stuff on here, but there's some good ones, like Dynamite is good, Do What You Do. Worth a pickup if you can find it cheap. Also, you have Precious Moments from Jermaine. This is 1986, I think. Nothing too special, but it does feature a duet with Whitney Houston before she got big. And she had a few hits, I think, here and there. And also, bit of a surprise, Jackie Jackson. Yes, he had 1 or 2 albums himself. This was with Motown in 1973. But sadly, again, like the Jermaine one, there's just nothing much to say. It's just a nice little album. And to finish, the We Are the World compilation album, which was all these artists recording the song We Are the World. And look, there's Michael there with Diana Ross. And all these artists were involved, a whole slew of them. And on the back, you obviously have, to finish, the We Are the World song, but you've got songs from other people as well, like Tina Turner, Bruce Springsteen, Kenny Rogers, Huey Lewis and the News, so a nice little variety. But those are all the MJ-based or Jackson-based records I own, so I hope this has been entertaining for you to watch. This episode went on a lot longer than I anticipated, but I felt I sort of owed, especially those of you who saw the first part in June 2015, because I just sort of never finished up on what I started, which was kind of selfish of me, but various things get in the way. So I hope this has been satisfying to watch, that have some sort of closure to what I started, and more content will be coming soon. So thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye.